Romania's constitutional court has definitively ruled against allowing pro-Russian politician Calin Georgescu to run in the presidential elections in May 2025. All 11 appeals against the Central Election Commission's decision to bar his candidacy have been rejected. In November 2024, the far-right candidate unexpectedly won the first round of voting. However, his results were annulled following accusation of election interference via TikTok. In December, President Klaus Iohannis declassified intelligence data revealing that 25,000 inactive accounts on the platform had been massively reactivated before the elections to support Georgescu. Additionally, one account paid $381,000 for posts promoting the politician, despite his claims that he had not financed any advertisements. Romanian intelligence services stated that Russia was behind these operations.
It's hard to say that Georgescu represents new elites. He is more of a TikTok project that demonstrated the effectiveness of modern technology. I believe we will now see increased analysis of how social media influences short-term opinions among various voter groups.
Following the exclusion of the pro-Russian politician from the upcoming elections, the Kremlin was quick to declare the elections illegitimate without Calin Georgescu's participation. It also cynically accused Romania of disregarding democratic norms. Meanwhile, Putin's spokesperson denied any connections between Georgescu and Moscow. However, the next day, the Romanian politician reaffirmed his alignment with Russian propaganda, referring to Romania as a colony of France and Brussels.
Long live France and Brussels, long live their colony called Romania. While America is becoming great again, Europe and Romania have become petty, corrupt and under dictatorship. Calin Georgescu, far-right Romanian politician on social network X.
On the day of the court ruling, hundreds of Georgescu's supporters protested outside the Constitutional Court building in Bucharest. They expressed their dissatisfaction with the decision and declared that their candidate would still win the elections.
I think everybody's tired, because this is like a never-ending telenovela in continuous mode since November, December, and we have to close this by mid-May and resume. I wouldn't necessarily say normalcy, because our country has changed quite a lot in the past 1.5 years of so many elections, but at least resume some sense of planning, some sense of public policies, government, and we have a lot of catching up in terms of image and influence abroad.
Following Georgescu's removal from the elections, two of his political allies announced their candidacies. These include the leader of the far-right Alliance for the Unity of Romanians, George Simeon, and the head of the Populist Party for Young People, Amaria Gavrilo. According to Radio Free Europe's Romanian service, they made this decision after meeting with Georgescu. Their strategy involves rallying maximum voter support before one of them withdraws in favor of the other. Meanwhile, the list of presidential contenders has expanded further. Reuters reports that former Romanian Prime Minister Victor Ponta has also entered the race. Previously, he had not ruled out running with the backing of the far-right Calin Georgescu.
I will be a president who puts Romania and the Romanian people first. No other capital, no other country, no other political leader, and no external organization will govern Romania anymore.
The deadline for submitting candidacies for the Romanian elections is March 15. Candidates must collect at least 200,000 signatures to be eligible for registration with the Central Election Commission. The elections will take place in May, with the first round scheduled for the 4th and the second on the 18th. Reported by Katerina Bastun, Mikita Skoblikov, UATV News.
Far-right political forces in Romania held a large rally in central Bucharest, demanding the resignation of Prime Minister of Romania, Marcel Ciolacu. According to Radio Free Europe's Romania service, around 30,000 people participated in the protest. The rally was organized by the Radical Right Alliance for the Unity of Romanians, which secured 9% of the vote in the parliamentary elections on December 1st, 2024. Former presidential candidate Calin Georgescu, who faces multiple criminal charges, joined the protesters. During the rally, Georgescu called for his reinstatement in the upcoming elections scheduled for May. Previously, Georgescu had won the first round, but his result was annulled. The country's intelligence services claimed the candidate might have received illegal support from Russia. On February 26th, Georgescu was arrested and brought in for questioning by the Prosecutor General's office regarding the funding of his campaign.
Georgescu is known for his pro-Russian and anti-Western views and for proposing the revision of Ukraine's borders in favor of Romania. His arrest and the subsequent criminal charges could signal Romania's intent to tighten control over pro-Russian political movements within the country.
Calin Georgescu faces 6 criminal charges, potentially leading to up to 25 years in prison. The decision on whether he will be allowed to participate in the election campaign will be made by Romania's Constitutional Court. However, the investigation into the pro-Russian politician and his associates continues, and the situation is developing unfavorably for him. The Romanian Prosecutor General's office has detained 18 people in connection with Georgescu's case. Arrest warrants have also been issued for the head of security, Horatiu Potra, his son, and another family member. Potra fled to Dubai before police searched his home.
Georgescu's arrest came amid a large-scale operation during which law enforcement conducted 47 searches at the homes of his close associates, including Horatiu Potra, who has links to Moscow's ruling circles, Romanian media reported. Weapons, ammunition, and large sums of cash were seized. Prosecutors found 900,000 euros hidden in a safe beneath the floor of Potra's home. Andrei Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation at the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, in a Telegram post.
The security of all European countries is at stake, said the President of France, Emmanuel Macron. He emphasized that Russia continues its disinformation campaigns. To counter this, Paris, Berlin, and 10 other EU countries urged the European Commission in late January 2025 to use the powers granted by the Digital Services Act to protect European elections from foreign interference, Reuters reports.
There is on our borders an overarmed and aggressive Russia. It is carrying out terrorist actions, massive disinformation campaigns at home and in Europe. If no one stops the master of the Kremlin, he will surely go to Moldova and perhaps beyond to Romania. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, in an interview with La Tribune. The return of such politicians or parties or groups inspires other anti-system forces, whether far-right or far-left, to begin their struggle for power. The Russian Federation might provide financial, informational, and other resources to help them come to power.
Among the right-wing politicians Moscow has already established connections with, experts point to Robert Fico and Viktor Orban. Orban, as Hungarian journalist Szabolcs Pányi reported, wrote a letter to the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, calling for the start of negotiations between the European Union and Russia over a ceasefire with Ukraine. Reported by Nikita Skoblikov, UATV News.